breathing. So you're breathing right down to your toes, right down to your fingertips, right up to the crown of your head. Slow, long, deep, guided breaths. You okay there, Anne? You seem... Okay, so breathing in, breathing out.
You all right, Anne? I muted you. I muted you, so we can't hear you.
Okay, cool. So deep breaths. So connect to your muscles, to your joints, to your organs. Go quite deep into the physical body. So each breath is like a wave flowing in and flowing out. The in-breath is the power, the strength, the energy. The out-breath is the letting go of the waste, the toxins. Okay, so you can call it zoned in. So no matter what's gone on in the last few days, good, bad, indifferent, it's just see whether you can give yourself a treat and just be present for the next hour and a quarter. Present to the physical body, present to the emotional body, present to the mind. Guarantee your mind won't be wandering off if it's connected to your physical body. Breath flows in, breath flows out. The points of your body, just become aware of the bits of your body which are connected to the mat, to the earth. I guarantee when we do this at the end of the class, there'll be a lot more points connected to the mat, to the earth at the end, because once you've done the yoga practice, your body will be that much more flexible. Linda's got chaos there with that dog. That's great. Okay, good. So we're connected, we're breathing, we're zoned in, and we're just going to lie and reach the arms up over the top of the head. And as you reach the arms up over the top of the head, you're going to gently press the backs of the legs down to the mat and flex the toes into the body, and then point the toes away from the body. Flexing toes in, calf stretch, pointing toes away, stretch down through the fronts of the legs. So just a simple flexing of the toes in will stretch the backs of the legs. Flexing the toes away will stretch the front of the legs. Okay, you can let the head just slowly rock from the left to the right side. Breathe. And what you're going to do is not just roll the head, you're just going to start to roll slightly to the left side, slightly to the right side. So you're moving into your left shoulder, moving into your right shoulder, moving into your left hip, moving into your right hip. Massage your back quite leisurely. All I've got to do is push into the opposite heel, which will roll my body. I haven't got to force the body at all. I sort of really love this one for sort of easing out any tension from my shoulders, down through my spine, down into my hips and into my arse and my buttocks. Okay, beautiful. Purposely roll onto your left side. You're going to bring the knees up and you're going to do this, I call this the clown. So you're going to bring the top knee up And then you're going to close the knees together and you're going to clamp the knees together. And as you clamp the knees together, you're going to really feel you're working all that muscle group that goes deep into the sacral reproductive organs and into the back end. So as I clench the knees together, I'm slightly thrusting the hips forwards. So I'm working all those really deep muscles, and I open as wide as I can. I try not to roll back onto my back. I get a real good stretch through the inner thigh, and then I close again. I open as wide as I can. I close as tight as I can. You don't have to be up on the elbow. You can rest the head on the bicep if you want. Opening, closing. Okay, and then you're just going to raise the top leg up and gently lower the leg down. Raise the top leg, slowly lower the top leg. You're still perfectly on your side. Try to stay on your side, raising the leg up as high as it will go, lowering the leg down. Raise and lower, like a drawbridge, raising up. And now you're going to bend the knee and you're going to create the biggest, widest rotation of the hip that you can. I'm still just on my side. I'm not going onto my back. I'm not getting onto my front. I really wind that hip up. And you're not just sort of flexing into the hip. You're also working with the muscle group that sort of holds the hip in place. And I guarantee as we get older, we get quite weak in the muscles around our joints. Going the opposite way, moving slow, a lot of rotation, a lot of openness. It seems so simple, but really get to it. Move into it with incredible awareness. Okay, then you're just going to grab the right toes and you're going to bring the right heel into the right buttock. Good, good, good. So you're going to stretch down through the thigh. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breath in, breath out. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, extend that leg. Come up onto the elbow, lift into a side plank. I'm in the side plank. You can have the legs straight or you can do it from bent legs. Really work and sucking in through the side of the body, the side of the waist. And you look up underneath that right arm, breathe in, breathe out. These are so important to not just throw ourselves into the yoga practice, but to work with the muscle groups, to get the flexibility and to get the strength. Okay, beautiful. Slowly lower down. Go safely onto the other side. So I'm on the other side, I'm doing this clamp, opening as wide as I can. So I'm working, opening through the inner thigh. And I'm clamping those knees together. I'm really trying to clamp those knees to work deep into that muscle group. Opening as wide, closing as tight. Where's your breathing? Breathe into the stretch. Let the energy flow. If you can, you breathe into the bit of the body you're working. So you're breathing right down into the sort of reproductive organs, if that makes sense. Opening, clamping, really get that clamp. And then you raise the top leg, slowly lower, raising as high as you can, gently lowering, raising as high, gently lowering. Every movement quite deep, quite slow, quite powerful, rather than rushed. Okay, fabulous. Okay, and then bend the knee. I'm just perched on my right sitting bones, on my right hip, I mean, and I get this massive rotation. Really try to open it up and go a little bit more deeply into it. Don't forget to go the opposite way. Breathe, explore, enjoy. Fabulous. Okay, kick the heel into the buttock, grab the foot and thrust the hips forwards, get the stretch into your left thigh as you thrust the hip through. Take your time, get into it, get into it. Breathe, 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 breathe. Glorious, glorious, glorious. Okay, go into a side plank, either from the knees or from straight legs. Build the core, pull in through the side of the body, really work that muscle. You get your left hand, you can bring it underneath and you can actually feel the muscles working down the side of the body. There's no sort of sagging, and so everything's sort of keeping the spine in a straight line. Breathe, 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 breathe. When I get tired, I breathe a little bit deeper. When I lose the sort of the connection to the stretch, I also really get the breath into getting me refocused. Okay, gently lower back onto your back. Both knees in. Gentle rock, left, right hip, right hip. So I'm not sort of rolling up and down the spine, I'm just rolling from side to side. To my left hip, to my right hip, to my left shoulder, to my right shoulder. Quite slow. Instantly, in 5 minutes, my sort of hips, my lower back aches have disappeared already. Okay, that's good. Take both legs up straight, put your hands underneath your bottom. You're going to do, to start with, we're going to raise and lower both legs. And you're going to concentrate on your core. If you've got core strength, those legs will raise really easily and will lower. Don't bring the heels down unless you really have to. A lot of focus on Mula Bandha, the root block. Try not to tense up in the shoulders. Beautiful movement. The slower you do it, the more you're working the core. And now alternate, one leg high, one leg low. Swapping over. If your lower back's pretty good, you don't have to have the hands underneath. I've got my hands behind my head, but depends what's going on in your lower back. Just lifting, having the hands underneath the hips, just lift the hips up, which will take any tension out of the back. One leg is high, the other leg is low, alternating. Okay, both legs back up, both legs out wide. Support the inner thighs or the outer thighs. Get the stretch through, right the way through the sort of area of the reproductive organs, the inner thighs. Breathe, point toes, flex toes, point toes, flex toes, point, flex. Bend both knees and see whether you can reach the big toes. So going into this happy baby pose. Keep your butt down on the floor, keep your back down on the floor, keep your shoulders down. Think of those knees going down into the earth, either side of the hips. Slow, long, deep stretch. Such an important stretch. Alternate by straightening your left leg while keeping the right leg bent. Swapping over, straightening the right leg, bending the left leg. One side to the opposite side. Love this one. Good, good, good. Right. Try to keep hold of the toes and see what happens if you bring both legs up. You might have to let go of them, you might not. Stretch those calves. Okay, hands underneath the legs. Right, we're going to roll a little bit further up, a little bit further down. Your ability to roll through the full length of your spine, that does not include the neck or the back of the head. So you just find that point. A lot of emphasis is on that middle back. Breathe, slow it down, the roll. Beautiful. Okay, next time come up, come into cross-legged seated position. Sit yourself up. We have a little wiggle around. Sink down through both sitting bones. Right, what you want is open those hips, open the inner thighs. Come your legs crossed, we'll get the hips rotating outwards. You're going to get your hands gently on those knees and you're going to gently get the knees down a little bit further. Both knees at the same height. So long spine, open, across the chest, soft in the shoulders, chin tucked in rather than pushing out. And probably every week we do this spiraling. So I'm pushing the knees down and I want to rotate through the hips and I want to feel that I'm growing in my upper body. It's quite deliberate, it's quite slow. So I'm rolling through the hips and also rolling through the shoulders. So I'm not just working from the hips, the shoulders are lifting and dropping. Consciously feel yourself growing in the upper body. Adore this one. Breathe. And then you're going to go in the opposite direction. Deep breaths, long movements through that long breath. Free up a bit more. Just let it find itself. Okay, that's good. Change the way the legs are crossed. Hello, my little doggy. Sitting up on the other side with the other leg in front. Side stretch to the right. Stay on the arms. Look up underneath the armpit of the right arm. Beautiful side stretch. It's a static stretch rather than the usual what we normally do, flowing into it. Hold, hold, hold. Try not to come off your right sitting bone. Everything's balanced right down below. So a big part of yoga is about balance. Come up to the center. Get everything realigned to the center and then slowly go over. Right palm comes down, left hand goes up, head goes round to look up underneath the left armpit to look up at the left hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the stretch develop, grow, inspire. Fabulous. Okay, come back up. Yeah, get your hands together. Yeah, do a bit more. Let's do a bit more playing with the shoulders. So this is, they call this the serpent coming out of the basket. So you think of a snake, it's weaving itself. It starts really low and then gradually comes higher. So eventually it just reaches up as high as you can. And then it starts to come back down. Left side, right side. This is all about the shoulders. You've got tight shoulders, you've been hunched up over a computer or something. Gradually weaving back down into the center of the chest and almost going right down into the groin. Okay, arms coming up, chopping forwards, chopping back. You can actually chop right between your shoulder blades and then right down between the legs. So massively known as the de-stressor. Bang! And then do a side chop. Side chop from one side chop to the other side. One side, the other side. Okay, good. Interlace hands, push palms away. Push palms up to the sky. Soften those shoulders and okay, bring the hands out. Come round, come on to all fours. Find a neutral flat back. What I do when I go into cat cow, I sort of spend a bit of time and I get really sort of grounded. So I slap my hands down, my hands are underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hips, and this is neutral flat back. And in my own time, I want to play with the spine. I don't want to be weaving the spine left or right. I just want to concentrate on bending the spine, bowing it up as high as I can, and then lowering it as low as I can. So the cat cow, head up, tail up. Head down, tail down. Go deep, close the eyes and go into a incredibly deeper stretch than you would do if your eyes were open. Feel what's working. To get that spine to rotate up and rotate down, it takes rotation of the shoulders and it takes rotation of the hips. So often, if your spine is pretty okay and you struggle with this, it's either your shoulders or your hips which are holding you back. So breathe in as the head comes up, breathe out as the head goes down. Get every breath out of the body and maximize the in-breath as you bring the head up and breathe in again. Beautiful. Right, you're back into the neutral cat. Reach the left hand up. Left hand as high as it can go. Keep your balance. Feed the left hand through. Drop down onto your left shoulder slowly. Sit back a bit if you can. Don't dislocate your shoulder or anything crazy. There's a lot of weight from your upper body leaning into that left shoulder. So if you sit back too far, there's a risk to that shoulder blade. Just get a stretch and nothing more. Deep breaths, deep movement, with care, with love, with gratitude, thanking our bodies for the way that it can move. Unfeed the arm, Back into neutral cat. Reach the right hand up. Nice reach up. Look up at the right hand. My hips are level. Feed the right hand through, threading the needle. And you're going to lower down onto your right shoulder. And you're only going to sit back a bit if your shoulders feel comfortable in the stretch. Awareness of the muscles having to work to stretch. When you breathe into the muscles, you get oxygen, rich blood into the circulation that sort of heals the body, rejuvenates the body. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, bring the arm out. Go down onto your elbows. Curl the toes under. You're going to, in your own time, you're going to drop back. How long you drop back into child's pose is totally down to you. And when you feel ready, you're going to launch into an elbow press up. So you go back as far as you can. And in between, you come up as high as you can onto those shoulders. Keep my ass as high as I can, and I feed my upper body down onto those hands. I want to find that I bring the sternum right down, almost, or right onto those crossed thumbs. I come up, I rest back into child's pose. Again, massive rotation of the hips, the shoulders. A lot about strength. Often we struggle with press-ups because our shoulders, our hips are holding us back. So see what you need. Some people need strength, some people need flexibility, some people need both. Ideally, we want both from the exercise. Quite slow, quite deliberate. Okay, good. Right. You've got the toes curled under, and you're going to push into a downward facing dog from the elbows. So I'm going to push my arse up, drop my head down. I'm on my elbows. My bottom's up high. And in my own time, I'm going to come forward. So I start to bring my chest down, and I push back into a higher downward dog from the elbows, coming forward, pushing back. Neck relaxed. Keep breathing. Stretch those calves. Okay, beautiful. Firstly, slowly come back down onto the knees. Come up, sit back onto the heels. Sit back onto the heels. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Roll the shoulders out. Okay, push back. So hands, thrust the hips up, stretch the thighs, move, open the heart center. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Come back forwards, come back into neutral cat. In your own time, go into a traditional downward facing dog. So look down at those hands, feed in the knowledge that you've got the strength. Right, one or two of you, your elbows are rolling in. Try not to let the elbows roll in. Keep the elbows slightly going out to the side if you think they're going to start to roll in. And then in your own time, you're going to push up through your legs to come into a slow downward facing dog, incredibly slow. So Linda, walk your feet in about a foot. That's better. Relax the neck, the head, soften the shoulders. Don't worry about that dog beating you around the head with the tail. Find balance. Really think, how high can you get that tail? Really see how relaxed you are in the neck by letting the head just gently move around on the neck, the shoulders. Purposely go up onto the toes and purposely push down towards the heels. Coming up, holding, going down onto those heels, holding. Okay, right, from the downward dog, come into a plank position, neutral plank. Hold the body in the plank, you can do it. Push back into a downward dog. Walk the hands in to find yourself in the standing forward bend. Good, good, good. Find the standing forward bend and hold it. So really think about not leaning back, not leaning forwards. You just, if you think your hips are directly over your heels, so there's, your legs are straight or slightly bent depending on your sort of mobility, your flexibility of your legs. Head down. Love this one. Okay, and I'm going to feed the hands. I'm going to start to walk the hands forwards into another downward facing dog. Nice and slow. Find the perfect downward dog. There's a thin line between having your hands too close to your feet or too far away. It's just about you. If you visualize shape of a pyramid, that's the sort of the position you want to do. So my back is straight, my legs are straight. Where's the breath work? Now you're going to walk the feet in, which is significantly more challenging than walking back. And I find I'm back in a standing forward bend. I want to check that my balance, my sort of focus, my coordination is sorted. And in slow time, I'm going to lower down into a squat from standing forward bend. So I'm going to lower into standing forward bend. No, I'm not. I'm going to lower into squat. And remember this little game of clamping the knees together while pushing the knees apart. Clamping, opening, clamping, opening. Play with the muscle groups. Okay, depending upon how your needs are, if you've got the power, you can come back into a standing forward bend. Yeah, into the stand. Hang on, I'll talk sense in a minute. I'm going to come back into standing forward bend. Slow, slow, slow. And I'm going to uncurl and bring my body up to standing. One vertebra at a time, no rush. Okay. So go into a power stance, go into mountain pose, get tall, get powerful, get strong, get beautiful, whatever works for you. Don't go rigid. So stand yourself up nice and upright. Oh God, look at this Buddha belly. Okay, do not ever eat before yoga. So, right, nice and upright, perfect body. Look in, connect to it. So you connect your mind to your body, you connect your emotions to your body, and you've got that wonderful breath between the links between the mind, the emotions, the body. And when you've got all those three things working, you cannot fail but have a real good time. You understand your body so much better when everything is connected. This is not sort of bullshit, it's factual. So let the arms reach out in line with the shoulders. Breathe, breathe. Twist around to the left side. It's just the upper body rotating, not the hips. Come back round to the center and twist around to the right side. Come back round to the center. Do a bit of manipulation of the finger joints. Whatever works for you. I'll do a bit of clawing, a bit of playing the piano, a bit of clenching. And then I'm going to reach the arms up. Bit of a back bend. I've got massive core protection for my back because there's a bit of a back bend going on. I bring those hands beautifully down to the heart. I turn the hands down. One or two of you, check where the position of your feet are. Some of you are wider than your hips. Some feet are spraying out. Run the feet. I love this sort of feeling of touch. I get the little fingers, I run it down past the solar plexus, down through the sacral, down through the inner thighs, folding into standing forward bend. Touch is incredible. Use touch to feel your movements. Get the fingertips down, get the head down, find your balance, breathe in, breathe out. Standing on your left leg, pick the right leg up. Stay balanced as you pick that right leg up. No rush. Step the right leg back as far as you can. Be on the tightrope. Bring the chest up. Lower the back knee down. Release the back foot. Bring the upper body up. Thrust through. So I'm rotating my shoulders back. I've got the chin tucked in. Got this wonderful openness through this heart center. And I've got a wonderful, all my core muscles are protecting my lower back from going into any discomfort with the back bend. My arms reach out in a very slow flowing motion. My hands gradually come up into the warrior one arms. Breathe, learn, understand, accept. 1 week your body will open, next week it might not, and there's no problems. So you've got the warrior arms going into, I love this hero pose, working the biceps opening across the chest. Breathe, 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 breathe. Get it, explore it. Going into freedom. Don't lose the balance, the coordination, the thrusting through, the working between the legs. Bring the arms back up to the warrior. Interlace the hands, push the hands forwards. Bring both hands down either side of the front foot. Take the weight into the hands, pick the left leg up, come into the neutral cat. Do 3 incredible cat rolls in and out. Go on, bend your spine. Rotate the shoulders. Tease out any resistance from any bit of that spine. Okay, beautiful. Drop back into child's pose. Hold child's pose. Go breathe fully into child's pose. Right, keep the arms as far forward. Launch the upper body up as high as it can go. And then respectfully lower down the chest to the mat whilst keeping the hips as high as they can. Elbows in, so really, yeah. So Linda, think about those elbows, try not to let them come in. You want to be out slightly if you can. And you're going to bring that chest down between the hands incredibly slowly. My chest is down, my bottom's still up in the air. And then I slowly slide through. And it's a beautiful feeling to slide the body down, slide the body through. And then I reverse what's going on. Yoga is about opposite. So I come down, I thrust the hips down into the floor, and I start to bring the chest up into cobra. And it's a beautiful feeling, this sort of going from a forward bend to a back bend. Shoulders roll. Depending on your lower back, if you know you've got lower back problems, then sort of bypass the up facing, come up onto all fours. However, you come back to all fours and find the downward facing dog yet again. Slow transition, slow transition. Try not to get caught up and looking at the screen and sort of turning your head in weird and wonderful shapes to see what I'm doing. I do a lot of talking, and I want you to sort of try to do the yoga practice rather than spending a lot of time looking at what's going on the screen. You don't want to be tensing up the neck by sort of looking out to the side, in other words. Bottom high, chest down. Beautiful. Right. Hold a little bit longer. Right, confidently balance on your right leg, and you're going to step the left foot through between your hands. Left foot through. Step the back leg forwards into the standing forward bend. I guarantee things are starting to move, to shift. Bring that wonderful body up, one vertebra. Count the vertebrae that bring you back into the perfect mountain pose. Get tall, get strong, get powerful. If you need sort of a drink, if you need a break, you just need to decide if you need a bit of time out. So, in a beautiful place, physically, emotionally, mentally, you cannot fail. When you get this, when you connect to your body, the past is the past, the future doesn't exist, and it's just so nice to be present. The arms reach out. When you move, it's like a dancer, it's like an incredible ballet dancer. When they move, their energy, their power is wonderful to watch. The coordination, the total control they have, and you take on that control. Twist round to the left side. Twist round to the right side. Move freely. Come back round to the front. Right, you're going to bend at the wrists. Down, up, down, and then the arms start to go a little bit higher. So like a swan, it's just about to go into flying. Don't be in a rush. Arms going up, arms coming down, arms going out, arms coming up, arms coming together. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hands down to the heart. Turn the hands down. feed the fingertips down through the reproductive organs, down through the inner thighs. Fold yourself in half. Breathe in, breathe out. Coordination and balance. Standing on the right leg, pick the left leg up. Keep your hips level. Try not to lean back. All the weight going down through that right leg. Step the left leg back. Go for big distance. You're right up on the toes of the back leg. Chest comes up as high as you can. Try not to rest your chest on your thigh. Lower the left knee down. Bring the upper body up. Concentrate to thrust the hips through, to roll the shoulders back, to reach the arms out, to reach the arms up into the warrior arms. Deep breath, come on, you can really open. Going into the hero. Going into freedom, open, 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 open. Arms back up, interlace hands, push palms up. Push hands forwards, still interlaced. Bring hands down either side of the front foot. Take weight into hands. Pick right leg up, come into neutral cat. The bestest ever cat rolls. Up and down. You want to feel this from the toes all the way up through the body, right up to the crown of the head. When you've done 3 of those, drop and enjoy the wonders of child's pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Come up onto straight arms, check out where those elbows are. For me, it's impossible to bring my elbows in. I can have my arms completely straight, but they don't bow in. It's not good for the elbows to bow in. Over time, they will give you problems it almost means you're hyper flexible in those sort of elbow joints, and it's a common problem for quite a few people. So you have to sort of adapt to work the muscle groups that stop that sort of from happening. And then you want to drop back a bit. As if I like to find my way down by sitting back towards the heels to come up, and then like a miracle to bring the chest down first. And the beautiful transition through. It's such a beautiful feeling just to bring yourself down from the chest, to roll down through the spine, to get those hips down into the floor, to thrust those hips down, work the back muscles, the buttocks in cobra, loosen any tightness from the shoulders, and find the way into the up facing, bypassing the up facing if your back doesn't like the extremeness of the back bend. Up and drop slightly back towards child's pose to find your way into the downward facing dog. Every movement is about transition from the previous movement. You need to know to connect. The most important thing is not the final position, it's how you transition from the previous position that allows you to maximize what you can do when you're in the new position. Okay, look forwards, consciously pick your right foot up and step it between your hands. And your left foot, ensure you're totally balanced. Uncurl, come up one vertebra at a time. Back into mountain pose. Right, we're going to do one more round of salute to the moon. This time it's going to be a bit more physical. There's only one breath between each movement. See whether in that one breath you can keep the same philosophy of having total control physically, emotionally, and mentally to every position. And there's only one breath that allows you to get between those transitions. Okay, beautiful. Breathe in, arms reach out, arms reach up. Drop into chair pose. In breath, sweep back up. Arms out. Folding into standing forward bend. Standing on the left leg, pick the right leg up, step it back. Bring the upper body up. Balance, coordinate. Bring the arms up into warrior arms. Throw the arms forward, bring the hands down. Step the front leg back, finding plank. Finding press up. Cobra. Up facing. Breathe. Downward facing. The left foot through. Right foot through. Uncurl. Come back up. Focus. Arms out, arms up. Into chair. Launch back up. Arms sweep out. Forward bend. Hands down. Stand on right leg, left leg back. Bring upper body up. Balance. Thrust through. Coordinate mind. Arms out. Back into warrior arms. Reach arms forwards. Bring hands down. Step front leg back. Plank. Press up. Cobra. Up facing. Downward facing. Left leg steps through. Right leg steps through. Uncurl. Come up. Walk around. Do some hip openers. Left, right, right, left. Do some twists. Go a bit wild. Go into a crazy shake. Shaking's good. Yeah, that's it. Okay, good. Right. You're in the perfect standing pose. We're going to do 3 standing postures rather than our usual 6. So you're going to hold for about 5 breaths each one. Mountain pose, great body, arms reach out, arms reach up. Drop as if you're dropping into chair pose, but you're going to drop into chair pose. You're going to stand on the left leg, you're going to bring the right leg up. You're going to step the right leg back. You're going to bring your hips round to the front. You're going to tuck under. You're going to thrust the chest through. You're going to soften those shoulders. Whoa, I'm going to lose my balance. My heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. That means I'm on the tightrope. My arms reach out, my arms reach up into the warrior 1. So I'm going to have a quick look at you. So the big thing is, can you get your hips to the front? Can you soften the shoulders? can you find perfect balance through holding the body in with the front leg bent and the back leg straight? Hold, 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 soften, keep breathing. I want you to, through each breath, to go a deeper stretch. I guarantee your body will allow you to go deeper into it if you just acknowledge your breathing, acknowledge your body getting stronger and more flexible. Okay, beautiful. Bring the hands down, put the hands on the hips, straighten the front leg. Now the beautiful transition from the front to the center. So at the moment, I've not moved my feet. Now I'm going to turn my back foot out a bit more so I can come round a bit further. I'm getting a bit warm, so I'm just going to lose a t-shirt, a jumper on me. Okay, good, good, good. So I'm just holding my body. I try not to have my arse sticking out. I've got constantly, I'm pushing through, and I've got this wonderful stability. My arms reach out in line with the shoulders. I start to bend into my front leg. My left knee doesn't rotate in. If anything, it rotates out. My right hip rotates outwards. Got this massive opening like this in the hips. My tail's sinking down into the earth. My spine is long. My chest is open. My shoulders are soft. There's no weight in my arms when I'm holding the warrior two. I get my head, I bring it round to look towards the middle finger of my front arm. And I hold the warrior two for 5 breaths. Core, and think of the core, tuck that tail under, breathe, enjoy it. The more you do it, the more you love it. Pick up on its power, what it does for you mentally, emotionally. Straighten the front leg, bring the left hand down, take the right arm up into Trikonasana, the triangle pose. Right hand up, left hand down. Look up at the right hand. 5 breaths, long, deep, no rushing. The breath, the body. Glorious. Slowly, slowly come back up to neutral. Bring your hands back to your heart. Bring your hips back round to the front. Clean step back into mountain pose. Okay, so body upright. Everything works all the time. We've got this incredible power, strength in this center. Arms reach out, arms reach up. Bend both knees, bring the elbows down, standing on the right leg, pick the left leg up. Step it back, go for distance. Bring the hips round to the front, tuck under, hips to front. Really, I'm doing pelvic tilts to take any tension out of this lower back. If I haven't got this pelvic tilt and I haven't got the core working, I'm sucking that navel right into that spine. I'm going to get pain across my lower back. And I came to yoga from a totally wrecked back and pelvis. So I have to really think about my strength, my balance. My arms reach out, my arms reach up. Try not to have those elbows, the shoulders around the ears. Pull the shoulders down. Bring the palms maybe together or hands apart. Start to bend into that front leg. Don't let the knee go past the heel. If you're not sure, have a look and see your big toenail, and that's perfect once you see your big toenail. Then you can bring the head back up, and then you can just concentrate on 5 breaths, nice and long, nice and deep, with a combination of going into looking up, closing the eyes, holding the power of Virabhadrasana Warrior 1. Glorious. Bring the hands down to the heart. Straighten both legs. Bring your hips round. It's beautiful movement. I love this movement, from the hips going from the front round to the center. I just turn the back foot out a bit more. I just check my body. I really make certain my arse isn't sticking out, and make certain I'm not leaning slightly forwards. I correct any sort of imbalances. My arms reach out. Once I've got the control of my core, I start to bend into that front leg. And 90% of people start to lean forwards for some unknown reason. I'm purposely doing it to show you what not to do. So I want to come back up. I want to check that that knee is not rolling in, it's opening. It's incredible work at working through those inner thighs. My tail's going down. I'm getting really grounded whilst I'm open in the upper body. My breath flows in, my breath flows out. Every movement is fabulous. What it gives you. Close your eyes and see what the Warrior 2 gives you. Is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Is it a mind thing? For me, it's a bit of everything. It's a pose that sort of says to me, just don't mess. Don't mess with me. I'm feeling really awesome. There's no sort of anger attached to it. Okay, and then bring the front hand down straight. I actually bring the hand down across the chest, down through the inner thigh, and then I straighten that front leg. So both legs are straight. I run that back of my hand down the inside of my right leg. My left arm goes up. I bring the head round to look up at my left arm. I try to, well, I don't try, I relax into it. I want to enjoy every stretch. If it's painful, it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to sort of just ruin the experience physically, emotionally, and mentally. You just find the point to perfect it in a way that suits you. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Slowly come back up. Bring the hands back to the heart. Bring the hips back round to the front. Step back into mountain. Do a bit of marching. Time is sort of flying forwards. We're going to do 2 more postures. So we're going to go into standing forward bend. You're going to lower down to a squat. From the squat, you're going to come down into sitting posture, sitting up nice and tall. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Flexing the toes in. So stretch out those tight calves, point toes, flex toes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Upper body lengthens. Both your sitting bones sink down into the earth. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Openness. Shoulders down, chin in. Get the hands and just massage the thighs, massage the knee joints. Actually, nice little circle around the knee joints is quite nice. I get around the knees and I can get my fingers in around the kneecap. And then I can run down the thighs. And gradually, without thinking, I'm starting to go from Dandasana, the perfect sitting posture, to Paschimottanasana, the seated forward bend. I try not to bounce into it. I just want to gradually stretch my calves, stretch my hamstrings, soften my shoulders. Hold, 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 hold. So think of the calf stretch, think of the hamstring stretch, and then maybe think about the lower back being stretched. No arching of the back, no dropping the head down. Neck in line with the spine, tail going back. It's almost like you're lifting up through the top of the head to lower that body a little bit deeper. Okay, beautiful. Slowly come back up. Go down onto your back, bring the knees in, have a little roll around. Last posture is to do the straightforward bridge. A little roll around first, a little shake out the legs, the arms. I like to do this, lifting the tail and dropping the tail down. Okay, get the arms down by the side of the body. I'll roll the head from left to right, right to left. And then I come back to the center. I just look at my body. I feel balanced, coordinated. I feel relaxed and released in my shoulders, my neck, my head. And all I want to do, I want to start to play. I'm going to do this in 3 stages. On the first breath, I'm going to bring the tail up and I'm going to roll into the lumbar spine. And on the out breath, I'm going to roll down the lumbar spine. On the next in breath, so it's all dependent upon a deep, long breath. You're going to lift through the tail, lift through the lumbar spine, 1 vertebra at a time, and lift into the middle back. Hold. Out breath, lower. 1 vertebra, middle back, going down through the lumbar spine. Going right back down to the tail. On the 3rd level, if you find it too hard to do it under 1 breath, do 2 or 3 breaths, but just play it sort of coming up 1 vertebra at a time, learning the difference between the lumbar spine, the middle back, and the upper back. Smooth transition, count each vertebra, work those thighs, lifting, 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 don't let the knees drift apart. Climbing, 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 climbing. You get to a point where you can come out of the spine and into both shoulders. I'm going to bring the arms underneath my body. I'm going to purposely interlace the hands. I'm going to sort of lever my arms down, which will lift me a little bit higher, and never look to the side. I just focus on lifting, taking all my weight of the upper body into my shoulders, and the bridge just keeps growing. Incredible. Now get the pleasure. Come out 1 vertebra. Have you got that real control? You've got your core muscles to protect the back. 1 vertebra. You suddenly find you come out of the shoulders and back into the upper back, not the neck. You start to count your way down through each vertebra. You come down smoothly with alignment. You bring the arms out from underneath the back if you've interlaced, and eventually you bring that back down, 1 vertebra, down through the lumbar spine, back into both hips. When you're ready, bring the knees back up into the chest. Have a little roll around, left side, right side, left side. I like to bring the legs up, I like to bring the arms up and throw a bit of a wobbly. Then get yourself comfortable, put a layer of clothes on if you are not sure about the warmth of your room. Your ability to come into a place that is still, physically still, emotionally still, mentally still. Can you give yourself a treat? Can you allow yourself 5 minutes of your time to be still physically? What's the physical body? The muscles, the joints, the organs, the cells. You could say it's totally impossible to be totally still in the physical body. There will be the beat of the heart, the gentle rising, falling of the chest as you breathe in and as you breathe out. That's a very subtle movement. Everything about lying still and using the prana, the life force, is about rejuvenating, healing, repairing you physically. Any parts of your physical body that you know has a weakness, an old injury, and just breathe into it, focus upon getting prana into that part of the body. The eyelids are gently closed. You have an awareness which is incredible. It's not about daydreaming, sleeping. It's having an incredible connection to the stillness. That mind of yours will want to work, will want to do other things. So it just needs something to connect to, and just make it your breathing, watching the waves of the breath. So I said at the beginning, awareness of your body lying in Savasana, the points of your body in touch with the earth. See how different that body feels. I guarantee there's far more points of the body released into the mat. Your breath flows in, your breath flows out. Thoughts will come, they will go if you don't hold on to them. I'm going to be silent for a couple of minutes and you're just going to enjoy your physical stillness, your emotional stillness, your mind stillness. Okay, beautiful. How you feel in this moment? You are connected to a state of bliss.
Everything feels good on every single level. If you need more time, you can stay in relaxation, or you can come back to it after we've finished the class if you want to. There's no right, there's no wrong. If you perhaps hungry, you might want to think about reconnecting to the physical body, right down to the toes, wiggle those toes into your fingertips. So just get yourself back connected. Sometimes it's too easy to drift off to an out of body experience. It's okay for a short period of time in relaxation, stillness. But when you come back to the group, you've got to be reconnected. You're not out in the universe floating around. You breathe in, you breathe out, just ensuring you're reconnected. You're definitely going to bring the knees up into the chest at some stage. And to me, the loveliest thing before we end the class is to roll onto your right side and tuck yourself up into that fetal position. Go into a place of real security, contentment, peace. So this is the way I sleep, and it's just so safe. And use the hands to bring you up to sitting. Take your time, don't rush. Hang on to all the things that feel good. Okay, so you just sit there, so you're going to breathe in through the nose and you're going to breathe out through the mouth. I'm like blowing out candles. I'm going to breathe in, and on the fifth time, I'm going to I love that one. Okay, hands at the heart. Got a lot of time for yourself, a lot of time to appreciate yourself. It's all about you, to soak up feeling good. There's a lot of things out in this world that can make you feel shit. So you're not going to go there. Everything's about how you feel physically, emotionally, and mentally in this moment is really good. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. I felt pretty bloody awesome tonight. This is
Yeah, that was
unusual.
good. Really, it's a good session.
Good, yeah, no.